Mike's Daily Podcast.
Hello, it is Mike Matthews. Welcome to Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth, Podcastro Valley, Mont.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
That's where we are. I'm gonna sing this song for you because I planned it out, and I have to sing it loud because I'm not going to die. Oh, I just did singing this song. I guess that didn't go very long. Okay, excellent. So far, so good, don't you think?
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I think the French use the word n'est-ce pas if they are speaking about something.
Mike's
and they want you to respond.
Daily
They say n'est-ce pas,
Podcast.
not Nescafe.
Yeah.
Okay, I have stuff here. I'm going to talk about stuff. It's going to be great. Yes, so what we have is episode 2860, 2860, and Mike Matthews. We are singing the song that usually happens at the beginning of the show here at Café Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont, the last place on earth. Different microphone, sounds slightly different. episode 2860. So Boeing has a safety crisis going on. It has delayed the planes available. So now there's air traffic controller fatigue because they're short about 3,000 people. These are all airline challenges. And then there are extreme weather delays going on. Massive heat wave, as you know, and high heat equals turbulence in the air. It affects the air, affects the runway, all kinds of issues with that. So it is a bit of a mess as more people are flying than ever these days, despite all that. Fascinating. At Café Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont, the last place on earth in the land of Ameritopica. And did you know, though, summer air travel is expected
And here's today's podcast picture.
to be about 3 million people. Actually, 3 million people flew on June 23rd alone. That exceeded a record set just weeks earlier on May 24th. And over 6,000 flights were delayed by the evening of May 24th. That was a Friday. That was on the East Coast. 6,000 flights delayed. The podcast picture is not of me flying. It is of something we did recently. Oh, yeah, we were in Berkeley, Richmond, that area recently, traveling around. Not really, I guess the East Bay, North Bay, that kind of thing. Places we took the Lake Great Basil, the Boxer to years ago. See that picture at mikesdailypodcast.com. I think the last one was as well. The last podcast featured some of that. Some of a Mike excursion that happened recently. So this also means that 32 million travelers are going to be in the air through, let's see, they were in the sky through earlier this week, almost 6% year over year increase in travel for the 4th of July holiday weekend and all that. People going to get chowder, possibly. Oh, and there's a showdown going on with Prime Day. Breaking out the wish list for Amazon's 10th Prime Day week. You need Prime membership for Prime Day. Prime Day was launched in 2005. It is now a $2 trillion company. It is crazy.
Mike, you want to join in on this conversation? You can join in. You can.
Oh, thank you. I'm joining in. And you can join in too. You can call me at the number 510-228-4640. That's how to get a hold of me at Café Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont. Gosh, he says that a lot. But it's true. It's where I am.
All I want to do is sit on a couch and eat corn chips.
And for some people, it's the pinnacle of life. So, Amazon said it had its largest sales day on record. For last year's Prime Day, it came out to about $13 billion. 65% of Americans plan to do more bargain hunting this year, looking through hunting for bargains in that bargain bin and making a mess. Walmart announced its first 5-day sale. It is called Walmart Deals going on now. Target Circle Week gives discounts for loyalty members as well. And in Best Buy, they've got, they're still around. They're bringing back Black Friday in July.
Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. Dilly.
People will not be dilly-dallying to get that stuff. Thank you. You're welcome. That was great. Target, Circle 360, and Walmart Plus have cheaper memberships than Amazon Prime. So just maybe you've noticed that if you were looking.
They will be met with fire, fury, and frankly power, the likes of which this world has
not ever seen.
Before.
Yes. I was listening to a podcast that had a couple guys that like to play a lot of media clips, and it got me to thinking about that guy we just heard from. And
I've fallen and I can't get up.
It's not exactly what I thought of. I guess for the other guy that was almost falling as he walked down the steps, with the aid of his wife helping him off the stage there at the debate. Biden, of course, but
Latina Uzi.
Uh-oh. Look out for that. Now, what was interesting about it all is if you look at Democrats, they're not defending Biden the way Republicans defended Trump over everything. Well, not a lot of them dropped out. A lot of them said, I don't know if this is worth it. They were laughing like that, going, maybe I should change my mind. Remember back when the tape came out? The extra tape with the guy, what was his name? Billy Bragg or Billy something? Not Billy Bragg. That was a singer with the Scottish accent. Billy something. And you know, he said all those nasty things about women. So
if you shoot me, you better shoot straight. There's nothing like a wounded animal.
That woman there responded to something Trump said once upon a time in his last term. As we go outside a Café Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley,
Anyway,
the last place on earth. Yeah. So we have that where...
All right, Mike, take care. Thank you. Good to see you.
Oh, good to see you as well. You know, people here at Café Anyway, walking in and out. So busy. But the thing is, they defended him after a while. Like, it took about a week, and then all of a sudden they were defending him.
Oh, Mike, you're such a creative soul.
All right.
Just remembering all these things is what I'm doing. And yeah, it was all of a sudden defend Trump. And ever since then, it's been defend him on every single thing he does, even when he's convicted.
What are you, nuts?
They convict him and they defend it. It's now like anything he does, they can defend him. Democrats, no. They're not in that business. They're not in the business of defending Biden. I think Biden is not the one that maybe invokes that feeling of I've got to defend my candidate no matter what, because everybody is jumping on the...
Oh, yes. I know all about how to spot microaggressions and root out privilege.
It's so funny because all the ultra-liberal podcasts, the day after or the day of the debate were, oh my gosh, what are we doing? This guy is terrible. We gotta find someone else now. They're just, so it doesn't matter. You can replace, these people are replaceable. It's sort of like the actor for Doctor Who. He can be replaced and regenerate and turn into another one.
Revenge is a dish best served cold. You think about that.
It's true. Remember that, my friend. Yes. So the thing is that there is that dichotomy between the two parties. And now Republicans are, oh, you hear the Democrats trying to defend Biden? Do you hear what they're saying? They're just doing what you're doing. They're trying to copy you. See, but Trump has a lot of supporters.
We have a knight who say...
Neat. They are supporters, but they're the way they are spread out, these supporters. And not just supporters, but people that will... They're the echo chamber that echo this support for him so that people can hear these talking points and go, oh, okay, all right. And it starts getting into their psyche. The echo chamber is huge for Republicans. You've got all of talk radio, all of AM talk radio belongs to the Republicans. You have a couple of TV networks, and then, of course, Republicans will argue that all the rest of media...
He's nuts! They're nuts! They know nothing!
They're all rigged against Trump. The rest of media, all of it. You can't trust any of it, so you got to listen to... So there's this echo chamber going on that's pretty strong, that is massively convincing. And then you've got that going on. So Republicans are able to whitewash everything. Not whitewash, what's the word? When you brainwash, that's the wash I want to do. Where you clean out, sci-fi people say retcon.
What in the world is that about?
They retcon the thing that they don't want to remember, that they want to deny. It's called being an apologist. So I see a lot more of that in the Republican world than in the Democrat world for all the reasons I just mentioned. Just thought about that. What was that all about? Passing notes, not texts.
You're a very rude person. The way you treat Sarah Huckabee is horrible. And the way you treat other people are horrible. You shouldn't treat people that way.
I never said anything about Sarah Huckabee. Did I? No. So, okay. Back to Inside Out 2. Topped the $1 billion in global box office recently. The first film to do so since Barbie. Yes, it actually did better than Barbie. Inside Out 2 has also showcased how vital the family audience is to the box office. Passing notes, not texts. The U.S. number 2 school district in L.A. just banned smartphones and social media. And the biggest district, New York City, said it's going to do the same. California and New York want to pass statewide bans about banning smartphones and social media. Thank you. I agree with that. Now, will Los Angeles or LA do the same thing as the state that goes by LA, Louisiana, and make it mandatory to have the 10 Commandments in every school? No. But it is interesting what I'm definitely for banning texting in schools, and I know teachers that would agree with me. It's such a pain. Work from home, return to the office. Workers across the U.S. have refused to embrace the 5-day work week. Last week, 35% of all U.S. employees did at least some work from home. 35%. And when I drove to work during the week that the 4th of July happened, and actually every week this year for as long as since COVID, Mondays have been slow. Traffic hasn't been as bad on Mondays. It picked up a little bit recently. But yeah, work from home, everybody. I'm cool with that. Go ahead and work from home because I need to be at work for a myriad of reasons. One of them face-to-face as a manager, talking to my employees, meeting them face-to-face. Plus, it's a lot easier to do a lot of stuff since I deal with a lot of audio. And the remote work thing that we use does not let me listen to the audio that's coming from my computer at work. So I'm good with actually Oh, and then there's air conditioning because my house doesn't have air conditioning, but work does. And it works really good. I have a penguin that lives with me in my office at work. That's not true. You should not have a pet penguin. No. Not a good idea. All right. And finally, did you know during the 4th of July that the fireworks sales boomed? The American Pyrotechnics Association said it was about $3 billion in sales. Well, a little bit short of that, about $2.5 billion in sales. That is up from $1 billion pre-pandemic. When I lived in the South, they love fireworks in the South. And there was a real estate agent that was helping us out. And she said that her brother spent all of his family inheritance on fireworks. Like, not over his entire life, like for one display. That boggled my mind. When I heard that story, I'm like, wait, I'm not in Kansas anymore. Not in California anymore, as I moved there from California. But hey, a shout out to some friends of mine in Alabama, Carrie and Gary, that live out there. Some people I know recently went to visit them during the 4th of July weekend, and I was really jealous. I wished I could have gone and seen them as well, but I miss them so much. And I don't know if they listen to this podcast, but if they do, hey, hi guys. Hey, you know what? All that information that I brought to you from Rob Black, I produce his podcast, and he is heard on AM 1220 KDOW weekday mornings in the Bay Area. And also he is on Cron TV Monday through Thursday in the 9 o'clock hour. Look who's here.
Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, Gift Supervisor. All that was really fascinating stuff. Mike Matthews. I like the 4th of July because it's so patriotic, and I love those colors, red, white, and blue, Mike Matthews.
And you have all your exploding snow globes that you sold during the 4th of July that were actually eggs that had a little bit of gunpowder in them. I don't think that was very safe, Chely.
Mike Matthews, you say potato, I say potato.
Is that a precursor, foretelling, a harbinger? Is that what you're gonna be doing?
Mike Matthews, you're starting to stutter a lot like me, Mike Matthews.
I am. So what I'm asking is, are you gonna have exploding potatoes next?
I gotta go.
Okay, there she goes. Look who else is here. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. Mike, all that was fascinating stuff and a good way of looking at politics, even though you never look at politics, Mike Matthews. Never do. Never do. It's like shoved into my face. That's when I see politics. But yeah, I try to avoid it when I can. All right, next show, it'll be the wonderful Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. If you would like to call in about anything we covered today, here's the number.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline. Area code 510-228-4640.
And with more ways to reach me, we go to the mainframe and hear from A-Frame. It's A-Frame to tell us about all things Mike's Daily Podcast. Here you go.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.